Yo, what's the word, boys? Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be going through the best fights to make in each UFC division. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Videos every other day on this channel for the most part. Sometimes I'm a busy individual. But let's jump right into it with the Flyweight division. Give me Alexandre Pantoja versus Manel Kape. If we look back to that fight between Pantoja and Steve Erceg, if you look at the rule book, if you know how the fight should be judged, it's a damage-based scoring, and Steve Erceg was brutally robbed in that fight. He was beating the brakes out of Alexandre Pantoja, and it's insane to me how people actually think Pantoja wins that fight. I don't know how people thought he won. It's a damage-based scoring. Steve Erceg was butchering this dude. Like, low-key at UFC 305, August 17th or whatever it is, Steve Erceg is going for his first title defense. First title defense, Kaikar, France. It's a big fight for him, and it's going to be nice to, add another name to the resume. He has his first title win over Pantoja, first defense over Kaikar, France. That's great for Steve Erceg. I love that for him, and he is the undisputed flyweight champion of the world. But moving on from that, I want to bring that up because Manel Kape is literally a juiced up version of Steve Erceg because he's maybe not as technical, but he's more dangerous in the pocket and his scrambling ability is a whole lot better. So I personally believe if Alexandre Pantoja and Manel Kape were to step in the octagon, which I'm not sure if it actually happens because Manel Kape seemingly doesn't want to fight all the time, but if this fight were to happen, I'd pick Manel Kape to win. I think he's a stylistic nightmare. A stylistic nightmare for Alexandre Pantoja. Pantoja's striking defense is not great. His entries are not great. Not his takedowns, but his entries into the pocket are not great. Manel Kape is so fucking dangerous in the pocket. I believe he butchers Pantoja in the pocket. He throws him off of him. He doesn't get taken down. His scrambling ability, is so good. And I think he beats Pantoja quite handily, quite easily in my opinion. But still, this would be a banger matchup. Alexandre Pantoja versus Manel Kape. I was also considering Manel Kape versus Steve Erceg because that would be, in terms of the fight itself, an absolute heater, straight gas. You know what I'm saying? But I went with this one because I'm a big fan of Manel Kape when he actually fights. I love his fighting style. And for a guy who a lot of people think is unbeatable, he's going to be this new flyweight king. No. You guys have not heard of Manel Kape. He would go out there and he would beat Alexandre Pantoja. Simple. Moving on to the Bantamweight division, Sean O'Malley versus Petr Yan. I need this rematch. And I'm totally not fast tracking Petr Yan to the title. That's not what's going on here. Totally not, what's going on. He lost to Sean O'Malley. He lost to Merab. He lost to Aljo. No, that actually never happened. He beat Aljamain Sterling in the rematch to defend his Bantamweight title, and then he beat Song Yadong. He beat Merab Dvalishvili. He beat Sean O'Malley. So Petr Yan is right now the undisputed Bantamweight GOAT, and he's going for another title defense against Sean O'Malley in the rematch. But on the real, I believe Petr Yan was borderline robbed in that first fight. I believe he won 2-1 at the minimum, arguably 3-0. Like, there's no way you could get three unbiased fans who watched this fight and two of them would pick Sean O'Malley because it was a split decision. There's no way two of them would pick Sean O'Malley or had Sean O'Malley winning that fight. The media scorecards didn't agree, and it seemed like everybody besides Dana White disagreed because Petr Yan won that fight, man, and this rematch would be so sick. I know Petr Yan has been on a losing streak. I know he beat Song Yadong, which is a great win, and I feel like he can get back to that title, but he's still so good. For a guy who's on a 3-fight losing streak, he is so good. I still feel like, and I still believe, and I still know he is the most skilled bantamweight alive. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go out there and beat Sean O'Malley in this rematch, but this is the best fights to make in each division, and I'd absolutely love to see this rematch. Let me know who you guys think wins in the comments. If I had to pick one, I don't know, man. I feel like Sean O'Malley could really expose the high guard of Petr Yan, but Petr Yan is just so fucking good. He can mix in the takedowns. His trips are something else, man. They're so much fun to watch. Let me know who you guys think wins in the comments. Moving up to the featherweight division. Yeah, this one's quite obvious. It's Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. This is arguably the biggest fight the UFC could put on right now. Get this shit in the Santiago Bernabeu in Madrid. Ilia Topuria, Max Holloway, you packed the shit out of that stadium. And this is like an insane fight. I still don't know who I'm going to pick because this will be official. This fight will be official very soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the Sphere or this or that. I'm not too sure. But I still don't know who I'm going to pick because when you look at Topuria's last fight against Volk, brutal KO. And I think he has a very good shot of becoming the featherweight GOAT and being, a top 3 fighter of all time. I think he's that fucking good. But Max Holloway gives him a stylistic trouble because when you compare Volk to Holloway, Holloway's lateral movement, in my opinion, is so much better. His ability to not let his opponents get into a flow is so good. And I feel like Max Holloway, and I wouldn't be surprised if he could win this fight by decision. But at the same time, I'm not overlooking Topuria, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's the first guy to KO Max Holloway. And I wouldn't be surprised if Ilia Topuria gets this fight to the ground and submits Max Holloway, because if you look at his fights before joining the UFC, that's Ilia Topuria, it's submission after submission after submission. His grappling game is so underrated. So when you have a fight where you don't know who's going to win, both guys could win in any fashion, and they're two high-profile guys with great personalities, so skilled, it just makes such a good fight. This is by far the best fight to make in the featherweight division. Ilia Topuria versus Max Holloway. Feed me. Pause, no Diddy. Feed me. Moving up to the lightweight division. I'm going simple with this one. I was thinking about doing Charles Oliveira versus Max Holloway, but I didn't want to double up on Max Holloway, so I went with Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. Arguably the two most skilled guys in the lightweight division. Islam Makhachev, you can fucking make an argument he's the most skilled fighter we've ever seen. And they have backstory. Arman Tsarukyan, yes, he lost. It was on short notice, though, and he put up a good fight. And I'm so down to see this fight. I feel like we've been, waiting for this fight. I know Arman Tsarukyan is now banned because he fucking punched a dude in the stands, but that's okay. It is what it is. That's just the game we play. You know what I'm saying? But I want this fight, man. I do believe Islam Makhachev would get it done. I think he'd finish Arman Tsarukyan probably by decision, but you never know. Arman's a weird, funky, interesting style where he could just end up finding a finish. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Arman, wins this fight. I don't know how he'd just be one of those guys to not even fluke it, but just get it done. You know what I mean? Clearly less skilled than Islam, but just gets it done somehow. I want to see this fight very soon. Maybe Abu Dhabi. Get it done, UFC. Let's go. Moving up to the welterweight division, I have Kamaru Usman versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. I know Kamaru has lost 3 straight fights. However, it goes deeper than that. The first fight against Leon, the first title fight that is, he was absolutely dominating. He gets caught by a head kick. Okay, that doesn't happen 19 times out of 20. And then in that second title fight with Leon, it's a lot closer than people say it is. It's a lot closer. You could rewatch it. Kamaru was finding success. And then Usman, on short notice, goes up to middleweight, and in my
LeBron James
very easily should have gotten a draw out of that fight with Khamzat. So it goes deeper than that. And I am not mad at all if he gets thrown into a number 1 contenders match with a Shavkat Rakhmonov, or if he stays at middleweight and fights a Robert Whittaker. I'm really okay with it. I still believe he is championship material. He's championship quality. And who else is championship quality? Shavkat Rakhmonov. Get this fight made, UFC. Get this fight made. You throw it as a co-main event on a pay-per-view. You throw it as a featured fight on a stacked pay-per-view, say MSG in November. Might be going to that card, so, throw this fight on. Come on, Dana. Throw this fight as the featured fight. But this would be a really interesting fight because I believe Kamaru Usman can give Shavkat problems. Shavkat doesn't really move a lot in terms of his head movement. Kamaru still has one of the nicest jabs in the UFC. Kamaru is still a great wrestler. His striking's underrated. Man, this fight would be so much fun to watch. If it goes 5 rounds, do we know if Shavkat has that 5-round gas tank? Can Kamaru start I don't even know what the word is, but just applying the pressure and overwhelms. That's the word. Let's go. I found the word. But just overwhelms Shavkat Rakhmonov, and maybe he could even find a finish in the later rounds. Say Kamaru Usman finishes Shavkat Rakhmonov in the 4th, 5th round. That'd be so fucking cool, man. I'm so down for that. This is the fight to make in the welterweight division. Give me it, please. Pause, no Diddy. I gotta stop making those jokes. Moving up, okay. We're into the middleweight division, and I guys, I'm sorry, but like, there's so many fights to make in the middleweight division. Let's bring Yuri Prochazka down to middleweight. His coach is talking about it. Yuri's talking about it. Khamzat Chimaev versus Yuri Prochazka. I do not need to explain the fucking crazy fucking shit that would go down if these two guys are at the same press conference, are actually fighting each other. Give me this fight, please. It is so just crazy. I don't even need to explain. Next up, Israel Adesanya, Khamzat Chimaev. Again, I don't even need to explain these Khamzat fights because you guys know what's going to happen. Get these guys at a press conference. Izzy and Khamzat. Stylistic matchup is really fun. You have classic striker versus grappler. I love this fight. Khamzat Chimaev versus Shavkat Rakhmonov. I doubt this will ever happen, but get Shavkat up to middleweight. This is one of the craziest non-title fights you can make in the UFC, if not the craziest. And then if Yuri Prochazka wants to move down to middleweight, as I said, Israel Adesanya is a really fun matchup. If Yuri wants to evolve into the next level, I feel like Israel Adesanya is a perfect guy to test that next level. Another really good counter striker, another really good striker in general, and we could actually see if Yuri Prochazka has evolved in terms of his striking defense, if you know what I mean, because if he doesn't improve his striking defense, I just don't believe he will be champion ever again. I'm going to be completely honest. Moving up to the light heavyweight division, another kind of basic one, but Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. I want to see this fight. I want to see Alex Pereira knock out Magomed Ankalaev. I feel like it would be a perfect setup for a potential move up to heavyweight for Alex Pereira. And getting a Dagestani on his resume would just be so sick because these guys are highly touted. No matter how good they are, how bad they are, they're highly touted. And if Alex Pereira can get it done against Magomed Ankalaev, maybe knock him out, his resume is insane, and I think he'd be a surefire top 10 UFC fighter of all time. Like, say he fights him in Abu Dhabi. I don't really care where the fuck he fights him. I don't care. Say it's like 2.5, 3 years in the UFC. These are the guys that would be on his resume. Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya, Jan Blachowicz, Jamal Hill, Yuri Prochazka, Magomed Ankalaev. That is one of the best resumes in UFC history. I don't care. In terms of like a crazy fucking run, that's a crazy run, man. That is a crazy, crazy run. And it would be a perfect setup for, as I said, maybe a Jon Jones fight, maybe a Tom Aspinall fight. So I want to see this fight in the light heavyweight division, moving up to the heavyweight division, and finally, and pause real quick. I could go back, look at all these pictures of the guys. Updated pictures, and these are from the official UFC website. Updated pictures. You see Sean O'Malley with the pink shorts. You see Ilia Topuria with the belt. Islam with the new gloves. Why are the UFC trying to make out Jon Jones as some shredded fucking prime Jon Jones dude? The dude is a fat old heavyweight. Why are we not updating his picture? Unless I'm missing something, why is Jon Jones still looking like this on the UFC website? But that's besides the point. I'm not going to explain this one for very long. Jon Jones versus the future heavyweight GOAT. Why are we doing Jon Jones versus Stipe Miocic? Why? It's the most drawn-out fight ever. Stipe does not have a single win over a guy on the active roster and is getting a UFC undisputed championship fight. And he does not have a single win on the UFC roster. That is another fucking level of insanity. Give the man Tom Aspinall. Jon Jones is openly ducking Tom Aspinall. Please, let's make this fight. Scrap Stipe Miocic. Nobody wants to see this fight. It's completely undeserved in my opinion. I'm not going to shit on Stipe, but in my opinion, it is completely, undeserved. Get Jon Jones versus Tom Aspinall, Madison Square Garden, and we'll see who's the real motherfucker of the UFC. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Click that subscribe button for more. Peace out.